Please stop chasing the guy who makes it easy. He's not the one who's going to stay. Yeah, I said it. That guy who texts you good morning every day, who's always available, who makes his interest crystal clear from day one. He's probably not feeling what you think he's feeling. But that other guy, the one who's confusing you, the one who seems hot and cold, the one everyone's telling you to forget about because if he wanted to, he would. He might be the one who's actually falling for you so hard it's freaking him out. I know that sounds insane. It goes against every piece of advice you've ever heard. Your friends think I'm crazy for saying this, but here's what nobody wants to admit about how men actually work. The guys with the deepest feelings are the ones who act the weirdest at first. They pull back when they should lean in. They go quiet when they should speak up. They create distance right when things start getting... And women misread this every single day, walk away from men who were obsessed with them, and end up with guys who were just filling time. Here's the part that's going to mess with you. There's one specific thing he does. Something tiny, something you've probably seen 100 times and thought meant nothing, that when I tell you what it really means at the end of this, you're going to want to text him immediately. You'll think back to every interaction and go, oh my God, he's been trying to tell me this whole time. And the wild part, studies on male attachment show that men who develop strong emotional bonds actually show fewer obvious interest signals in the early stages compared to men who are casually dating. Yeah, read that again. The more he really likes you, the less he acts like it at first. It's completely backwards from what we've been taught. The guys who come on strong early are often the ones with the least to lose. But the guy who's acting careful, measured, almost cold sometimes, he's protecting something that matters to him. You. This is why women end up in the friend zone with guys who wanted them, or ghost guys who would have committed, or marry men who were never really all in. They're reading the signals backwards. They think obvious interest equals deep feelings. But that's not how male psychology works when real emotions are involved. But before we break down the 6 signs, and trust me, if he's doing even 3 of these, the chances are really high that he's in deeper than you think. You need to understand something most women never figure out. There's a window, it's short, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, where he's deciding if you're someone he's going to risk his heart on or someone he's going to keep at surface level. And during that window, he does something so specific, takes about 4 seconds, that tells you exactly which category. I'm telling you exactly what that is and when to look for it. Stick with me, because at the 12-minute mark, I'm dropping something that's going to sound like the worst news ever, a phrase he says that feels like a door slamming in your face. But it's actually one of the biggest green lights that he's got serious feelings. Most women hear it and give up right there. Don't be one of them. Right now, know this. If he's showing 3 of these 6 signs based on what we know about how men process serious attraction, there's a really good chance he's feeling more than he's saying. If he's doing all 6, girl, he's already emotionally in this. He's just terrified to show it. Keep watching, because at the 6-minute mark, I'm going to tell you about a behavior that seems rude, seems like he's blowing you off, but it's actually proof he thinks about you way more than guys who are always available. Okay, let's get into it. 6 signs he has deep feelings but won't say it. Count them as we go. Sign number 1, he takes forever to text back, but when he does, it's real. He's not hitting you up every morning with good morning, beautiful texts. He's not sending you random memes throughout the day. Sometimes you don't hear from him for 6 hours, maybe a full day. And when you see that, your brain goes straight to, he's not interested. But here's what's actually happening. Look at what he says when he finally does text. Is it deep? Is it thoughtful? Is it picking up a conversation from 3 days ago like no time passed? Is he asking real questions about your life, not just what's up? When a guy has real feelings, he doesn't treat texting like a game where he has to keep you warm. He treats it like actual communication. He takes his time because he's thinking about what to say. He's not firing off whatever pops into his head because you're not just another girl he's trying to keep interested. The test? Compare his texts to the guys who text you constantly. The always available guys usually send surface stuff. Quick hits, low effort, masked as high frequency. But the guy who takes hours to respond and then sends you 2 paragraphs about something you mentioned last week, that's not disinterest. That's him caring enough to actually engage instead of just keeping you on the hook. Bonus thing most women miss. When he does text, does he remember what you talked about last time? Does he follow up on things? You told him you had a big presentation on Thursday. He doesn't text Thursday morning, but Friday afternoon he asks how it went. That delay isn't because he forgot or doesn't care. It's because he's been thinking about it, maybe even nervous to ask because your answer matters to him. Next time he takes forever to text back, don't panic. Read what he actually says when he does. If it's real, if it's thoughtful, if it shows he's been paying attention to your actual life, that's a guy with feelings. The guy texting you, hey, 17 times a day, he's bored. Sign number 2. He remembers random stuff you don't even remember saying. You mentioned something once, super quick, probably didn't even think about it after. Maybe it was your favorite coffee order. Maybe it was a movie you loved as a kid. Maybe it was something about your family or a place you want to visit someday. Weeks later, he brings it up, out of nowhere. And you're sitting there like, wait, I told you that. Here's why this matters. The brain holds on to information about people we're emotionally invested in. It's automatic. Studies show we remember up to 70% more details about someone we're attracted to compared to regular people in our lives. So when he's remembering that you hate pickles, that your sister's getting married in June, that you had a teacher in 5th grade named Mrs. Peterson who changed your life, his brain is filing you under important person. But here's the thing that separates real feelings from just liking someone. It's the stuff he remembers. If he remembers big things, okay, he's paying attention. But if he remembers the tiny, random, forgettable things, the things even you barely remember saying, that means you've been on his mind. He's replaying conversations, thinking about you when you're not around. Your words stick because they came from you. Test this. Next time you're talking, drop something super random, something boring like, I need to remember to water my plants this weekend. Or, I used to collect stickers when I was a kid. Something you'd never expect him to hold on to. Then wait. A week, 2 weeks. If he brings it up, asks if you watered your plants, mentions stickers randomly, you're not just someone he's casually seeing. You're someone his brain won't let him forget about. Sign number 3. He acts totally different with you than he does with everyone else. This one's big. You've seen him with his friends, maybe co-workers, other people. He's loud, funny, confident, super social. But when it's just you two, he gets quieter, more serious, almost awkward sometimes. And you might think, does he not feel comfortable with me? Is he not having fun? But it's the total opposite. When a guy really likes you, like deep feelings likes you, he can't just be casual. He can't go into autopilot social mode. Every word feels like it matters. He is worried about saying the wrong thing. He's in his head because the stakes are different with his friends, with random people. There's nothing to lose. He can be whoever. But with you, there's everything to lose. So he gets careful. This is what people call getting nervous around someone you like. But it doesn't always look like stuttering or sweating. Sometimes it looks like him being more reserved, more measured, less of the life of the party guy you've seen him be with others. That shift, that's not him being uninterested. That's him caring too much to just wing it. The real test, watch how he is with other women versus with you. Does he joke around easier with them, seem more relaxed? That's not because he likes them more. It's because they don't matter. You do. And that makes him try harder, which makes him seem stiffer. It's the opposite of what you'd think, but it's the truth. Extra thing to notice. Does he look at you differently than he looks at other people? Not just more, but different. Like he's studying you, trying to figure you out. Guys with deep feelings don't just glance at you and move on. They watch, they notice things. The way you laugh, the way you talk with your hands, the way your mood shifts. If he's looking at you like you're the most interesting person in the room, even when you're not doing anything special, that's not casual interest. That's him being completely pulled in. Sign number 4. He says something that sounds like rejection, but his actions say the opposite. Here it comes, the phrase that makes women give up. I'm not really looking for anything serious right now. Boom. You hear that and think it's over. He's telling you straight up he doesn't want you. So you pull back, protect yourself, start moving on. But wait, what's he doing after he says that? Is he still texting you, still making plans, still acting like he wants you around, still doing all the things a guy who's interested does? Then that phrase wasn't rejection, it was a shield. He's scared. Scared of getting hurt, scared of wanting you too much, scared of admitting out loud that he's already emotionally involved. So he says the safe thing, the thing that gives him an out if you don't feel the same way. Here's how you tell real "I don't want a relationship" from "I'm terrified to admit I want a relationship with you." Look at the gap between his words and his behavior. If he says he's not looking for serious but treats you like you're serious, his words are protection and his actions are truth. Guys lie with their mouths when they're scared. They tell the truth with their choices. Extra clue. Does he get weird when you mention other guys? Does he ask about your dating life even though he said he doesn't want anything serious? Does he seem bothered when you talk about going out or meeting new people? That's not friend behavior, that's jealousy. And you don't get jealous over someone you don't have feelings for. I'll tell you exactly how to handle this at the end. But for now, know this. When a guy says he doesn't want serious, but keeps showing up like he does, believe the showing up. Words are easy, actions cost something. Sign number 5, he gets quieter when other guys are around you. You're in a group, another guy's talking to you, making you laugh, giving you attention, and suddenly he goes silent, pulls back, stops engaging, maybe even seems annoyed or checked out. Your first thought, he doesn't care. If he liked me, he'd fight for my attention. Wrong. When a guy has real feelings, seeing you with another guy doesn't make him competitive in the obvious way. It makes him retreat. Why? Because it hurts. Watching you laugh with someone else, wonder Nung, if you like that guy more, if he's funnier or cooler or better, it messes with his head. So instead of jumping in and trying to win, he shuts down. It's a defense thing. Here's the proof it's about feelings. Watch what happens after. Does he text you later? Does he act different the next time you see him? Does he make some comment about that guy, even if it's casual? He's been thinking about it. It bothered him. And guys don't get bothered by women they're not emotionally invested in. The test, and do this carefully, give another guy noticeable attention in a group setting. Nothing over the top. Just laugh at his jokes. Ask him questions. Be engaged. Then watch. Does your guy withdraw? Does his mood shift? Does he stop talking or start talking to someone else? That's not him being social. That's him protecting himself from watching you possibly choose someone else. Twist that nobody talks about. Jealousy is way stronger before you're actually together. Once you're in a relationship, he knows you're his. But right now, when you could walk away any second, when another guy could swoop in, that fear is huge. So if he's showing signs of jealousy, even though you're not officially anything, that means he's already thinking of you as his. He just hasn't said it yet. Sign number 6, he creates little private things only you two share. Inside jokes, nicknames, references to things that happen between you that no one else would get. Sounds small, but it's huge. When a guy starts building a private world with you, he's creating intimacy. He's making an us that's separate from everyone else. The attraction part, he uses these things in public, in group settings, around other people. Why? Because he wants them to see that you two have something special. He wants to mark the territory without being obvious about it. An inside joke in front of others forces you to acknowledge him. It pulls your attention back to him. It reminds everyone, including you, that there's a bond there. Watch for this. Does he reference something only you two know when other people are around? Does he use a nickname for you that came from a private moment? Does he bring up a callback to something you did together? That's not random. That's calculated. He's reinforcing the connection and making it visible. Another layer. Does he remember these inside jokes weeks or months later? Does he bring them back up when you least expect it? Long-term memory of private moments means you're not just in his present, you're in his story. He's keeping these things because they matter, because you matter. Now count how many of these 6 he's doing, 3 or more. There's a really good chance he's feeling way more than he's saying. All 6, girl, he's already emotionally yours. He's just scared to make it real. If this is hitting close to home, if you're realizing you might have misread him, drop a comment right now. Just say, I see it now, so I know this helped you. It helps me make more of these. And if you want to understand men better, if you're tired of guessing and getting it wrong, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I break this stuff down week. Real psychology, real patterns, no fluff. Stick with me till the end because I'm about to tell you exactly what to do when you spot these signs, how to move it forward without scaring him off. especially when he said that I'm not looking for serious thing. There's a way to handle it that makes him feel safe enough to admit what he's really. Don't mess this up by doing what most women do. Okay, so what do you actually do with this information? First, stop pulling back when he pulls back. I know every instinct tells you to match his energy. He's being distant, you be distant. He's not texting, you don't text. But here's the problem. If he's pulling back because he's scared of his own feelings and you pull back too, you just confirmed his fear. You just told him it's safer to not feel. Instead, stay consistent, not clingy, not chasing, but consistent. If he takes a day to text, you text back normally when he does. Don't play games. Don't punish him for being human and scared. Show him that you're safe, that you're not going anywhere just because he's figuring things out. Second, call out the gap. If he's saying he doesn't want serious, but acting like he does, you can address it without being aggressive. Something like, hey, I know you said you're not looking for anything serious and that's fine, but I'm noticing we're talking every day and spending a lot of time together. I just want to make sure we're on the same page about what this is. That's not pressuring him. That's being honest. And guys respect honesty more than games. Third, give him time, but not forever. Real feelings need time to feel safe enough to express. But if months go by and he's still doing the same, I like you, but I'm scared dance, you need to make a choice. Is waiting worth it? Sometimes it is. Sometimes the guy who takes longer to open up is the one who stays when he finally does. But sometimes it's not, and you need to be honest with yourself about that. Fourth, watch what he does when you're upset or struggling. This is the real test of deep feelings. When you're having a bad day, when something's wrong, when you need support, does he show up? Does he check in? Does he try to help even if he's not great at it? Men with deep feelings can't stand seeing you hurt. They'll do something, even if it's clumsy. The guy who disappears when things get hard, he doesn't have the feelings you think he does. Fifth, don't ignore red flags just because he has feelings. This is important. A guy can have deep feelings for you and still not be good for you. He can like you a lot and still be emotionally unavailable or not ready or dealing with stuff that makes a relationship impossible right now. Feelings don't fix everything. So yes, recognize the signs, but also recognize if the situation itself isn't healthy, even if the feelings are real. Let's talk about that phone thing I mentioned at the beginning. You know what's wild? The thing that really gives away a guy with deep feelings isn't what he does with his phone around you. It's what he doesn't do. Guys who are casually interested, their phone is always out. They're texting other people, checking things, distracted. But the guy who's really into you, his phone basically disappears when you're together. He's not glancing at it every 5 minutes. He's not picking it up to check notifications. He's not scrolling while you're talking. His attention is on you completely because and his head, this time with you, matters more than whatever's happening on that screen. That's not something you can fake. Guys who are half in are always half looking at their phone. Guys who are all in forget their phone exists. But here's the sneaky part. Later, when you're not together, he'll text you about something you said during that time you were together. Something small, something that proves he wasn't just physically present, he was mentally locked in. That's the combo. Phone away when you're there. Details remembered later. That's a man who's completely focused on you because you're the person he thinks about most. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What if you're reading all these signs wrong? What if he's just not that into you and you're making excuses? Fair question. Here's the difference. A guy who's not into you is consistent in his disinterest. He's flaky, he cancels plans, he doesn't follow through, he says he'll text and doesn't. When you do hang out, it feels like he's doing you a favor. He's checking his phone, he's distracted, he doesn't remember things you tell him, he doesn't make effort. The guy with hidden deep feelings, he's inconsistent in his showing it, but consistent in his showing up. He might be hot and cold emotionally. He might say confusing things, but he keeps coming back. He keeps making time. He keeps engaging. The effort is there, even if the words aren't. So ask yourself, is he showing up? Is he making effort? Is he choosing to spend time with you even when it would be easier not to? If yes, his feelings are probably real. If no, if you're always the one initiating, always the one trying, always the one wondering, then it doesn't matter how he feels. What matters is what he does, and what he's doing is not enough. Here's something most dating advice won't tell you. Sometimes the guy with deep feelings who won't say it isn't worth waiting for. Yeah, I said it. Just because he has feelings doesn't mean he's ready to do anything. Just because he likes you doesn't mean he's going to choose you. Some guys stay in that scared, hidden, I have feelings but I won't risk anything space forever. And you can't build a relationship with someone who won't be honest about how they feel. So yes, recognize the signs. Understand what they mean. But also set a boundary for yourself. How long are you willing to wait for someone to get brave enough to be honest? How long are you okay being in the gray area? Because here's the truth, you deserve someone who's not just feeling it. You deserve someone who's willing to say it and do something about it.